Hello. We are going over the 324 biblical prophecies that prove Jesus is the Messiah. You are watching this on the Halachgoy channel of YouTube. I'm a Halachgoy, and you can be one too. 324 biblical prophecies that prove Jesus is the Messiah. Prophecy number 35. The serpent on a pole, Christ lifted up. We find this prophecy in the book of Numbers, chapter 21, verse 9. So Moses made a bronze snake and put it on a pole. Then when anyone was bitten by a snake and looked at the bronze snake, he lived. We find the fulfillment of this prophecy in the book of John, chapter 3, verses 14 through 18. Just as Moses lifted up the snake in the desert, so the Son of Man must be lifted up, so anyone who believes in him may have eternal life. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but to save the world through him. Whoever believes in him is not condemned, but whoever does not believe in him stands condemned already, because he has not believed in the name of God's one and only Son. So Moses makes a bronze snake, puts it up on the pole. People who are being bitten by snakes look at the bronze snakes and live. Something rather nasty had been going on in the Israelite camp in the desert at this point in the book of Numbers. Serpents were coming out and biting people. Moses makes a bronze image of the serpent, hangs it up on a pole, causing people to look up at it, and when they look up at it, they're healed, or they live. Jesus is saying that just as Moses did this, the Son of Man, so Jesus is saying, just as Moses did this, I will need to be lifted up. People that look at me will have eternal life. So what happened in the desert when Moses would lift up the serpent? People looked at the serpent and lived. What exactly were they looking at? I mean, there's a serpent on a pole. People are looking. What they're doing is they're looking away from their own afflictions. They're looking away. They're looking their head up. They're looking at something else that's causing them to get their minds, their concerns away from the worldly concerns that they have, and have them looking up, possibly looking beyond the serpent, looking up into the heavens. It's forcing them to think of something in a different way from how they were thinking of it. It's causing their eyes to go up and away from themselves. Jesus is saying, in the same way, I will be lifted up. I'm going to be lifted up to get people's minds away from the evil around them, away from the problems of their own life. They may have eternal life. Because people are going to be standing condemned in this world. You're standing condemned. You're worried about your own self. You don't see any way out. You're wrapped up in your daily life, wrapped up in your own worldly concerns. Jesus is something's going to happen that he's going to be lifted up, And that's going to cause people to forget about their worldliness and enter into a state of eternal life. They're going to get their minds off of themselves, and they're going to get their mind into eternity through Jesus being lifted up. In a lot of ways, Jesus being lifted up has caused people, a lot of people, 1 billion odd people in the world right now that call themselves Christian, it gives them at least a mechanism, if they bother meditating on the aspects of Jesus' life and the aspects of the horrible death that he had. It gives people an opportunity to think beyond themselves, think beyond this world, think of heavenly things, get their eyes lifted up. There's more to the bronze serpent, though, than what we find in the book of Numbers. Moses makes, and this is a very odd aspect to the bronze serpent, God tells Moses to create, basically to create a engraved image and cause people to look at this engraved image and look to this engraved image for their healing. There's definitely a backside to these instructions. We find in the book of 2 Kings, chapter 18, verses 3 and 4, speaking of King Hezekiah. He did what was right in the eyes of the Lord, just as his father David had done. He removed the high places, smashed the sacred stones, and cut down the Asherah poles. He broke into pieces the bronze snake Moses had made. For up until that time, the Israelites had been burning incense to it. It was called Nehushtan. Nehushtan is similar to the word bronze, similar to the word snake, and also similar to the word unclean, an unclean thing. God told Moses to make this snake. He told Moses to lift it up. People would look at it and be healed of the snake bites. However, at the same time, it was an idol. And the Israelites, beyond simply looking at it and thinking about and getting their mind on heaven instead of their mind in the issues of the snake, what caused the snake bites, they went a step further and they began worshiping this bronze serpent. There are many things in this world that can make us think about God. A sunset, a smile of a child, when things go bad, when things go wrong. Anything in this world is something that we can think about, is an opportunity for us to think about God. And if we can't think about our own lives, we can think about other people's lives. We can even think about other people's deaths. In the case of Jesus, we have an opportunity. There's a lot of good teachings of Jesus. There's a lot of good things he did in his life. And there's definitely lessons to be thought about regarding his death. There's a lot in the story of Jesus that can cause people to think about God and think about eternity and to get their mind out of this world. But at the same time, and Jesus even says this here, at the same time, he is like the bronze serpent that's lifted up. That bronze serpent can become an idol. That bronze serpent, Jesus, can become an object of idolatry. And when anything becomes an object of idolatry, it needs to be obliterated. That does not mean you destroy the remembrance of a person's life. You don't destroy this. You don't tell the child, please don't smile. Of course the child should smile. It makes you think about God. And of course you should think about good teachers throughout the ages that have said good things and can help us. But do not worship an idol. Thank you very much. Our next prophecy time. I shall see him, but not now. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.